Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and welcome back to another day of Minecraft. Now, as you can see, I've been able to get some reeds off camera. I have a nice little reed farm going here, but we're going to need a lot more before it's all said and done. So, what we are going to do today is we are going to go on a reed hunt, do a little bit of exploring around the castle grounds, try and get ourselves some more paper fixings, and then by the time we get back, our cobblestone should be done cooking, and then we can work on the floor of the castle. I realized when I was looking over it that we actually hadn't done anything to the floor, and the floor definitely needs to be stone. So we will be taking care of that today, and hopefully finding some reeds. So I was going to go ahead and take our horse. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that the horse has a name now. I'll go ahead and show you guys that as soon as we get back. Now, probably should remember which direction I'm going. I'm going to get lost. I've come to terms with that. I've come to accept it. But which way are we going here? We are going north. Fair enough. Oh, here's some gorgeous painted horses. Awesome. Well, if I find any more saddles and name tags, I may have to procure. Oh, here's some reeds. Now, it's inefficient as all get out, but I am just cutting off all but the base so it can keep on growing. And we got some mutton chops here for sustenance. And let's see here. Fortunately, we got a lot of small little lakes and ponds where reeds can grow. We just need to find a legion amount. Also made some shovels to get the dirt out of the way of the castle base so we can put in brick for the floor. And while part of me does want to, well, we may not put brick on the base floor. I don't know. Could we put some of the other stone types? Oh, there's plenty of reeds over here. There's so many different ways that it can go. The polished stone as the castle floor, I think would look kind of cool. Maybe in certain rooms, because this was made to be a defensive structure. Hello there, lava pool. Why are you not setting things on fire? Let's head around here. Any other reeds hiding about? Nope. Also want to apologize to you guys for not having a whole lot more of the castle done. I have been completely engrossed. Actually, I'm surprised all of my series have been on time for the most part, is because I've been engrossed in Arkham City. And that has been such an amazingly good game. Surprising, too, with how good it was. Like, I loved Arkham Asylum. I didn't play Arkham City. Or Arkham Knight. I'm sorry, Arkham Knight is the game. I said City. But I'm just having such a good time with it. It was definitely worth every bit of coin I spent. I got it on console, obviously. Otherwise, you'd probably hear me being... my attitude toward the game would probably be a lot more negative. How many reeds do we have? We've got only 7 things of sugarcane. What we need to find is a desert. A desert would be good. And you know what? Did I see some sheep over here? Or just piggies? Okay, just piggies. We need to get some... well, now that we know where the pigs are, we can bring them over. I've got sheep, I've got chickens, I've got cows in their fences. I do not have any pork. Now, the one thing that's really surprised me about Arkham City is I didn't expect to get consistently... no, well, not consistently, that's probably a strong term. But I did not expect to get jump scared in a Batman game as much as I have in Arkham City. Or excuse me, Arkham Knight. I need Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight. Yes. Ooh. I hear you, little zombie guy. You were in the dirt here somewhere. Here's some sheep. We don't have a bed, so I'm sorry guys, I don't have any shears with me. Just gonna have to shear some of that flesh. Like so. There we go. Let's get a workbench going, because it's gonna be dark here pretty soon. And I was a derp and didn't bring a bed. There we go. Now, back on the hunt. Some of those jump scares, man, it's like you do not see them coming at all, which I know is the definition of a jump scare, but sometimes you know it's coming and it still gets you. Like, not in this case. I mean, I jumped right out of my chair during the first major one. And no spoilers here, because if you haven't played the game, if you are a Batman fan, I would strongly suggest you invest. Because it is a treat. It is a joy to play. The only criticism that I can tell you about the game is they introduced the Batmobile in this game. And I think they kind of, due to the fact that you couldn't play the Batmobile in Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, they kind of overcompensated. And a good portion, yeah. I wouldn't say like over half or anything like that, but a significant portion of the game is actually spent in the Batmobile, doing like tank combat. And I like that stuff, so it was no sweat off me, but I can understand some people where it's like, well, we didn't play the game for the... You know, we didn't buy the game to do this. We played the game to be Batman. But it's still very good. Oh, there's a ton of reeds over here. Yay, swamps. Get that sugar cane. Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be the best farming area that we can get. See how much paper we can make. Because we need quite a few books. We need 3 books per shelf. At least we know where to head to in case... Well, that's not an in case. It's pretty much a guarantee. We have to come back here because we're going to be making more bookshelves than just the ones for enchanting. I want this to be a very intellectual castle. With an actual library, that would be cool. I think we might do that. Also, the best place to get clay is a swamp biome, if you're just looking for plain clay. This and desert, or desert shore, are probably your best bet, but you can't do much better than a swamp. Let's see. Get a lay of the land here. Looks like we got some more over there. Oh. Yeah. I think that's that. So, let's go ahead and get some of our swimming on. It is almost night. Maybe we'll actually find a witch's hut. Or another village. Or something. I don't remember traveling this way before. I think we went east and west for our other builds. I don't know. If we end up back at the Adobe, I'm going to be might put out. There we go. Now, actually, I'm thinking about making a huge sugarcane farm. Like, when I mean huge, I mean, well, not like super huge, but enough that we won't have to worry about ever coming back here. Alright, it's starting to get dark, and monsters, I think, will show up in the swamp a little bit faster. There we go. Sleeping in a swamp, what could possibly go wrong? Mosquito bites and such. Let's go ahead and clear out this swamp of sugarcane. Do a little bit more of exploring, just because I'm curious. And then we'll head back, and our food, or not our food, our stone brick should be ready. So, see, nice little rock face there loading. Okay, we've got a full stack. That would definitely help us. We'll get this group over here. The biggest place that, like, when I'm just walking, my first initial impression is to build stuff in extreme hills biomes or mountains. Just because I grew up a portion of my life in the mountains, and I find it so beautiful. You know, that Bob Ross style painting whenever you built those cabins in the woods. Those are really simple cabins, but it'd be a great place to take a vacation. Just get away from it all for a little bit. There we go. And I think we are... Yeah, we're good. Let's go ahead and head on out of here. It's a pretty big swamp, though, I have to say. We got some of these dark canopy forests. Never, ever go above the canopy. Thank you, Fern Gully. That preachy movie that we had to watch when we were younger. Still very fun. Still a very good movie. And honestly, compared to other stuff that I've seen, not nearly as preachy as you think it would be. I mean, when you... a lot of people today were just like, oh, Fern Gully was just a conservation ploy or propaganda or whatever, and I'm just like, we grew up watching Captain Planet, man. Like, Fern Gully is tame compared to Captain Planet. Captain Planet, like, took conservation and beat you over the head with it, like, savagely. I really couldn't watch Captain Planet. I was just not a fan. And it wasn't the conservation thing. It was just, I thought the concept... Well, no, the concept worked. I mean, if I'm a fan of Voltron and such, I should get used to the concept of 5 kids combining their powers to form something awesome. It's just I didn't find Captain... Hello there, doggy. Ooh, so we've got some doggies over here. Let's go ahead and save this screenshot. And we will come back when we have some bones. And have some dogs for the castle. And we've got some cats in the forest. We can just fill the castle with all kinds of critters. I would like that. Yeah, I think it was just one of those things that I'd watch cartoons, and the second that Captain Planet came on, I was like, yep, that's enough of that. Maybe it was his costume, and I'm not talking about the green mullet either. I was like, I didn't mind the green mullet. Mullets were pretty much in style when I was growing up. I still think, I mean, one of the best vampire movies of all time has a mullet featured very prominently. I'm, of course, talking about The Lost Boys. But I just thought his costume looked pretty atrocious. I don't know, there wasn't a whole lot of cartoons I would instantly change the channel on, but I think Captain Planet was one of them. I still tried to recycle and keep clean. I mean, it wasn't like a Captain Planet villain or anything, but... Yeah, the villains, too, I think, were one of the reasons I wasn't very fond of that show. The villains were very much blah. And I think too stupid. One of the things that I really liked about... There's a cartoon that came out. It came out the same time as G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, which is a kind of movie. I mean, they got some things right, but some things they got completely wrong. But one of the things that I really loved about the timing of that movie is they came out with this cartoon. And I think it was called G.I. Joe Resolute. It was on Cartoon... Oop, we are out of mutton. Or at least cooked mutton. It was this cartoon, and if I can find it in its entirety, I'd probably link it somewhere. But it was a serious take on the G.I. Joe cartoon. I guess more entitled to Toonami or Adult Swim audiences. But the thing I love the most is what they did with Cobra Commander. Now, if you remember G.I. Joe, the cartoon from the 80s, actually both versions, Cobra Commander was horrible. An awesome visual for a character, awesome potential for a character, but, you know, he was a coward, and it was always Destro and Baroness, and then Serpentor came in, and it was just kind of, he wasn't the villain that he had the potential to be. G.I. Joe Resolute, oh man, they fixed that. They make Cobra Commander a force to be reckoned with. And honestly, G.I. Joe Retaliation, which was the second G.I. Joe movie, which I thought was infinitely better than the first, they did Cobra Commander a lot better. He still had kind of this Darth Vader-y voice, which I wasn't too keen on. But in terms of his look and how he carried himself, yeah, that's the Cobra Commander that I would follow in the battle, where I felt inclined to do such things. Now, is that the... Hey! We didn't get lost! Hallelujah! This must be the sign of the end times. Well, actually, since we haven't really looked at the spruce forest over here, we've got pumpkins everywhere. Right as I run out of food, we are back on the homestead. Very good. Now, while I go and take care of the food real quick and take a pause off camera, I will introduce you to the horse, which is not on his lead. Where's the lead? You naughty horse. Come here. Now, I don't know sure how to pronounce this, but it is Rocinante? Rocinante? It's the name of Don Quixote's horse in the book. The mad knight who charged windmills with his horse and lance. Quixote. There's different ways of pronouncing it, but... Alright. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this reed farm set up. And at least get the floor taken care of. I think food will be my primary concern. And I will be right back. Alright. Well, we got our bookshelves made, so now we can do level 30 enchant, should we so wish. Got some more stone cooking. We got our normal 6 stack. Let's go ahead and get this floor done. Now, I thought about it. Now, this is just going to be the base floor. I was thinking, well, we could do carpet. There's a lot of different stuff that we can do, but I also wanted to think about experimenting with some of the polished stone. And I figure what we could do... Actually, I didn't go down here, did I? Yoink. No, I did not. Let's go ahead and get this done. Instead of like doing carpeting or making the entire floor some of the polished stone, we could actually have the polished stone accentuate the stone brick, kind of like that carpet design we had in the Adobe house, where we have mostly stone brick for the floor, but then occasionally throw something new in, or, you know, throw a design of polished in. I don't know, it's something that we can experiment with. I still don't know what I'm going to do with this room, but we need to go ahead and get it filled up. I still am hearing Zach below us at certain points. I did find a little tunnel system that I don't think we were able to light up. We'll go ahead and take care of that some other time, though. It's alright to have neighbors, currently. So... Oh, this is the way out. Whoopsie. How about this way? There we go. Oh, nope. My directions. There we go. Into the double wall. And let's get this tower all nice and floored. And as you can see, I went ahead and dug out the bottom one layer of the entire castle interior. We have plenty of stone to finish the task. Maybe a little bit left over that we can start building up the wall. At least a tiny bit. Well, maybe not a tiny bit, because I have to fill all this in. we may not have enough stone to finish, but we shall see. Either way, gives me something to do. So, I am okay with that. Now, I've also been thinking, because I do like to think ahead, of the next building project. And I did say we were going to do some PvP between this building project and the next, and I meant it. But I think people who watch some of my other series, specifically Valkyria Chronicles, are really going to like my next project. Because I think it's something... It's going to be a challenge, but it'll be fun. Yeah, I think we're going to have enough brick to finish this off. I believe being the key word here. We'll see how this looks once we get it all nice and filled out, and then I'm going to put some torches so we don't have any sudden monster spawns. And that's something we definitely need to pay attention to as we close off areas of the castle before we put doors and such. Is we need to worry about that, because the last thing we need to do is have something done, then walk in and see a creeper who goes, "Hi!" and then proceeds to blow us and that room up. And we already did it on this one. That's good. Saves me some trouble. And going along here seems to be the best option. Sounds like during builds like this where you realize that 64 blocks of something doesn't go as far as you think it would be. Or think it, it doesn't amount to as much as you thought. It makes a dent, but here's the last stack. So no wall upbuilding today. Maybe next time. There we go. And fill this one in. Well, I think we're going to be cutting it really close, because that gives us 28, 29. Well, let's see. If this gives us just enough, I'm gonna be very happy. I don't... Oh, is that gonna give us... And one to spare. Love it. Cool deal. Well, we got this area done, and looking at the floor now, need to check and see what we're going to have in terms of furniture and such. And also we're going to determine where the actual doors to the towers are, the tower rooms. That won't be too bad. But yeah, I definitely think some polished stone along certain areas, or at least maybe carpet. I'm not sure. But it's definitely going to be something different than just the plain stone wall or stone floor. Alright guys, well, I have a ton of stuff. Oh, go ahead and got the reed farm going, and as you can see, it's already paying dividends. I have 32 reeds here that I can farm through, so I'll be able to get pages with no difficulty whatsoever. And fortunately, thanks to our cow friends here, when I get beef, I should also get a good amount of leather. Actually, should probably get a looting sword, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's do that as our final, or see if we can get a looting sword as our final thing for the day. Besides, I need a diamond sword. Who doesn't? Who doesn't need a diamond sword? Normal stick. There we go. You will be our mighty weapon against all, all forms of nastiness. Now let's see. Lapis. Why didn't you guys tell me? Wretch, you forgot the lapis. I guess I didn't hear you. Let's let's see here. Lapis, lapis. Let's go ahead and get 1 block. See if that's enough. Eat some baked potatoes. One thing about potatoes, I mean, they're a little bit hard to prepare, with having to harvest and then cook them, but they don't give nearly the amount of hunger appeasement as you think they would. So let's get the sword. Unbreaking 3. Smite, fire aspect. Unbreaking. Well, that's interesting. 1 lapis and 3 enchantment levels. You know, I might fiddle around with that a little bit later because it's getting dark and I actually want to get a really good sword. So I'll tell you what, guys, I will go ahead and end the episode here and hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help, and we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.